Sir, it's 3, 2, 1. Sir, I am now over to.
So, good morning, friends. Welcome to Life Pharma Coalition, the weekly elixir of learning and development for the pharma professionals. It is said that if a drop of water falls in a lake, it loses its identity. But if the same drop of water falls on a leaf, it shines. And that shine becomes very contagious because the knowledge which is imparted gets into everybody and we start sharing it. Friends, it's said that success is not final and failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that really counts. In fact, our hunger to succeed must always be far more than our fear of failure. To acquire knowledge, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe. So, today I will start with a very beautiful observation which one of the greatest pharma trainers had shared on one of the social platforms. In fact, he was conducting a MDP program with his managers, and he asked few simple questions like, how many doctors have you converted in the last 1 week? The answers which came were around 2, 4, 6, 8, even one manager said 12 to 14 conversions. Well, the next thing that he asked was that, how did you convert them? The answers were again really stunning. Some said that because of very good customer profiling. The other said, well, I had presented good scientific reports to the doctor. The third said, well, I had given the inputs that were designed for them. And the fourth said, I engaged them with CAMs and CMEs. Well, the next question becomes very obvious. Is it not something expected of a efficient or an effective medical representative? Well, there was a pin drop silence which ensued after that. Dear friends, there are a few questions that we really need to ponder upon. Number one, are we making our MRs really effective? Are we making our managers perform below a level because of the high pressure selling? Number three, is the industry focusing on short-term wins, or are managers happy pursuing sales without focusing on the effectiveness of the medical representatives? Well, this is up to you to wonder, are we really doing justice because of focusing on the bottom line? So now let us get on to the journey of LPC with a small presentation. So welcome to the world's largest online pharma discussion platform, Life Pharma Coalition, which is purely dedicated for learning and sharing. In fact, Life Pharma Coalition has had over 45 plus pharma companies, industrialists with 125 plus speakers, 20,000 reach on Facebook as well as YouTube. And we have a strong executive team of more than 28 members who are spread across the length and breadth of the country and across various pharmaceutical companies. This was the event that we have all cherished, that is the LPC 100 Conclave. And thank you so much, everybody, for your overwhelming support for LPC 100 Conclave, which was on 20th of March at Mumbai. For any type of collaborations that you would like to associate with Life Pharma Coalition, please don't hesitate to contact Mr. Raman, Mr. Yashwant, Mr. ICS, and me. This is a photograph of the leaders who were with us on LPC 100 Conclave. And in fact, it was because of their overwhelming support, good wishes, and love that LPC has become the world's largest online learning and sharing platform. And this photograph is reminiscent of the success that LPC 100 Conclave had at Mumbai. And in fact, we are planning for LPC 2.0 Conclave somewhere in the month of August, and more informations will be given to you during our coming sessions. Uh, well, thank you so much, Imagica Health, for being so supportive to our learning endeavor by supporting us week after week. In fact, Imagica Health explores the intersection between the design, digital health technology, and content marketing for the leading brands. They have a ex-marketeer-led team of medical writer, graphic designers, teamers, and coders who serve the pharmaceutical for bettering customer engagement, bringing patient centricity, improving control on the sales team, and increasing the return on investment for various marketing campaign. Thank you so much, Imagica Health, for being with us right through. So coming to LPC 111, which is on leadership to build a collaborative learning community. In fact, today we have got speakers who are across the length and breadth of the pharmaceutical industry. First of all, we have Mr. Sandeep De, who is the CBO Acumentis Healthcare and Nicholas Healthcare Limited. And today he is going to speak about his journey of 1,000 miles in the pharmaceutical industry. Along with him, we have Mr. S.T. Kalairaj, who is a chief consultant at Calivers. And today he is going to speak on redefining how you see your customer. So I am very sure it is going to be really engaging. And along with me, I have Mr. ICS Verma as a moderator, who is a co-founder of Rexon Healthcare and is a director of New Direction Consulting. And along with him, we also have Mr. Sanat Kumar Sahu, who is DGM Marketing, Medley Pharmaceuticals. So thank you so much, friends, for the live Pharma Coalition LPC 110, which was last week on women leadership, which had a great reach on Facebook as well as YouTube. Now I will hand over to Mr. ICS Verma for the next part of the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Arpan. I think it's again a great day. And every Sunday, the pharma has a different kind of exposure with great speakers and the thinkers from across the industry. And today we have with us two stalwarts from the industry, Mr. Sandeep De and Mr. Kalairaj, with two different topics, which are one is a technology and the other is on the journey of the life. So I would request each speaker, like Mr. Kalairaj, please, can you just give a brief about your topic? What are you going to talk about?
Very good morning, team. I think this topic we are going to just talk about the eye tracker, which is called basically iScale. We named our patented product. Now, eye tracker is the technology which basically talk about the how your customers are seeing your advertisement, how they actually see the communication, and how to measure it. So this will help us to make a better ROI with the all communication which we can design. So this is a kind of research tool which is basically new in the area. Even though the basic tool was been in use for more than 3 decades, but with the current technology advent, so it has been come into the stage and it is now people widely used in globally. Now we want to bring it into India with especially in pharma and healthcare.
Great. I think we all know the one saying, seeing is believing. So rather than just assumptions, now pharma is going to have a great technology to see what their customers are thinking, what their customers are interested. So definitely it's going to be a great session. Welcome, Kalairaj ji. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now I request Sandeep Da to just brief about his topic.
Good morning, team, and good morning, audience. There is really no topics with me today because I was a little caught up, and then when Arpan called me yesterday, then I told LPC is always a loving platform for me to come in. So definitely I will be. But then Arpan, please, I don't have time to make some presentations and put it across. So then he requested, can you share some of your thoughts and your learnings with the audience? I told it will be my pleasure to do that. I'll be happy. So I'm going to share some of my thoughts in some of the perspective which probably Arpan would like to bring into the audience. And my learning out of that, there's a 30 years journey, enjoyable every day. I feel successful. I don't know. World or industry has recognized me. And in this journey, there was a lot of ups, a lot of downs, lot of learnings, lot of challenges. So some of these thoughts I will share. That's the way I would like to take this session.
Thank you, Sandeep. I think that's going to be a very, very useful tool for the young generation, because they are just starting their careers and they wanted to know more about it. Yeah, so today I'm expecting a very, very interactive and great session from both the speakers. Now I hand over the session to our friend Sanat. Sanat, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And today I feel that in LPC it is a very auspicious day. It's the amalgamation of 3-1. Today we had successfully completed 110 episodes for last 110 Sundays. We were successful in deliberating some or the other new thoughts in the management of pharma. And today in 111th session, we are really having two eminent personalities, and they had discussed about their thoughts and their presentations. So it's an opportunity for me to have Mr. S.T. Kaliraj over here. And if you see in the social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, different episodes are already live of him. It's an opportunity for me to introduce him to this forum of LPC 11. He is a marketing catalyst, he is a strategist, researcher, analyst, and customer management specialist with vast experience with top corporates, focused on results and performance. Mr. S.T. Kaliraj is having his successfully into the marketing, into creative, analytical, communication, interpersonal skills. His domain knowledge is into the pharmaceutical therapy areas, healthcare, digital analytics, CRM, SFA, and MIS. He has into the analytical skills, working with analytical tools like SPSS, Tableau, Power BI, and Excel SPAT. His core capabilities are into business management and marketing, market research. He is a chief consultant for Scalers from March 2020, and today he'll be highlighting a lot about this, about the designing and executing exclusive research models for growth and profit-driven decisions. He is a research and analysis for driving strategies. Even he is a dean to the Care Business School. He is a senior associate for Fulcrum. He is a visiting faculty for NMMISC, and he is a senior manager for Ranbaxy and into the different pharmaceutical companies in the past. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaliraj, for giving your time today and coming to this forum. I would be requesting that if you can take us to discuss on the topic.
Thank you, Sanat. Thank you for the nice introduction. As I think you are telling that the LPC 11, I think it's a great opportunity for me to be in LPC 111, or basically it reminds us the cricket. You know, the cricket stamp, it is actually reminding us. We just completed a cricket IPL match, the final last week. So now we are having another match. Rather, I would see as a kind of a platform for me to really board or show or exhibit our tool here. And we made this launch event 2 weeks back from our own platform. And then I really requested Mr. Verma that we want to share this concept with all our friends. We're really happily we want to do that. In fact, we actually scheduled this meeting in 109. But somewhat I was not available because of the traveling, and then we had scheduled this week. I think it's a really great opportunity to be here, and especially sharing the day with Mr. Roy. Now the thing is, very interestingly, this scale we talk about, we just understand what is eye scale. This is actually called eye tracking. Now, this eye tracking basically we talk about being used for quite some time in the industry. Now, if you see here, this is basically redefining how you see your customers. For example, we see that how basically we redefine our customer, how they see. That depends on how they will actually see, how your customers see you. So how do we know that? How I did know that how my customer are seeing me? So that is what we want to see here. We define a lot of communication. We do so many things, and we have spent so much of money every cycle after cycle. We spend huge money on that. We spend so many communication. One of thing you can say visual aid, or we have other communication now, social media communication. There are so many communication which goes to our customers. Now we have today, after the COVID, we have more impersonal communication. This impersonal communication need to really see how we can refine them. Okay, so that is what we want to see in another few minutes. Now let us look at that. So we have a choice. Okay, I have a big choice. When I want to see a take a food, I can go for a natural food, grapes, fruits, or I can go for ice cream, desserts, anything. Now the choice of that choice, when it's all been given to you on a table, now what actually you do is you want to have the choice is yours. But how? Now you will to see that I start traveling from one product or one object to another object. Now when I start traveling from one place to another place, where which product is pleasing most, so that decide the choice. So the journey what that I travels, we call it I scale. Now we want to just use one small disclaimer that what are the visuals here we used for the exhibiting purpose. So we don't have anything. So there are strategies want to have a disclaimer. Now let us come to that. What is the eye scale? In simplest term, eye scale is a measure of an eye tracking activity or movements towards a stimuli or an object designed. So what actually we do that? For example, we want to measure where my eye actually moves particular thing. I'm going to showing some kind of object. When I showing an object, now I see that. For example, when I give you a kind of menu card, we are sitting in a hotel. Now when I see the hotel menu card, when I give it the menu card, now what will people will just see that they can go and read it. Now there are menu cards that designed today very in a different way. They see that they make the pictures of that items so that it give you a more pleasing. So that actually travels and it will decide, or it will stimulate you, or it make you to drive to choose a particular one. So that is what actually happens over there. Now so this is where actually you see how your eyes are been moving over there. Now why eye scaling? We may ask a question, why eye scaling? Our eyes plays a key role in decision making, as I've told you. It allows the researcher to identify what capture our consumer attention, and it observes their cognitive engagement in real time, and it minimal the recall errors or social desirability effect. This is a place where we can help us to really get better ROI. Now it reveals what grabs attention, what influences purchase behavior, and how consumers engage with your product. Now we just want to see where all I can be scaling can be used. There are two things that generally we do in our communication or in our marketing activities. There are two bifurcations are there. One is static stimuli, another is dynamic stimuli. What is static stimuli? We have very important or very predominantly used is our visual aids, which can be a print or digital, our magazines, newspapers, printed digital promo materials, product on store shelves, package and packaging design, logo designing. So these are all static stimuli. When you talk about the dynamic stimuli, it's a corporate film, or it can be a product film, or it can be an educational film. Like when I say education film, there's a patient education films, or a disease or therapy films. So these are all films which actually can designed. Now then we have to do a lot of conference presentation, conference exhibition stalls. So these all actually can be done. Then video films. What are any video films? What we do? Animations and live websites and webinars. Now this all are, we can do the eye scaling. Why we want to do the eye scaling? The subsequent slides will show you. Now, just to see how eye scaling is done. Currently, basically, there are three methods the eye scaling being used. One is wearables. Basically, there is a glass. You will see in a subsequent slide what is that glass and all, how it looks like. Okay, the glasses with the cameras and other equipment that tracks that eye movement. Second is the webcams, like normal, what are the kind of laptop we have that cams. That webcam actually been using to take and take your attention and it monitors you. Okay, so this is the second one. Then third is the predictive. Again, this is an AI techniques which we've been using machine learning models to predict where people are likely to look in the stimulated settings. So these are the three things basically been used how we can do the eye scaling. Let us understand the working mechanism. Now, there are three things we want to see. One is eye scaling, how actually scaled or measure your eye movement. That is point number one. Then second is the algorithm. What is the algorithm actually it takes? Third is how it is being recorded. Now, eye scale uses the invisible near infrared light and high definition cameras. We will see in the subsequent here. Now look at it here. This is exactly the glass which actually uses to really measure your eye tracking. How you can see here there is a one case point. Now this case point basically is nothing but where your point, or this is nothing but your actually the object. Generally you will see an object with more or less this distance and see how actually moves over there. Not only this gas tip point, we can differ the distance based on the where the objects have been there. Suppose you are moving or watching your movies, so that gas point will differ. So that basically the object, it is actually the point of gaze point. So I just watching a movie, okay, or watching the film, corporate film. So where actually my eye movements are going and which portion it goes. So this is what is traveled. So it consists of a camera, illuminators and algorithms. Now coming to the second, the scene camera records what the user is actually looking. If you see here, there is one small camera is there. So that camera actually captures what actually we are looking at. Third, the illuminators create a pattern of a near infrared light on the eyes. Just talk about this, sir. If you see, basically you see this, imagine a kind of grid here. It makes a kind of grid and that actually form and it captures where your eyes moves over there. This is what that how actually our eye movements have been captured and it been transmitted into the system and it is captured. Now I'll give an example. Suppose this is a visual aid. Suppose when I see the visual aid, suppose as a when we are actually presenting to our customers or our doctors, we are just presenting to him. When the visual aid is presented, what actually is that picture, doctor picture is noticed first. You find here, okay, this has been pictured first. Then our eye moves from here, this point to the second point. The label is noticed after 0.6 seconds. So the time from here to there. So in other way around, the content or the visual is able to or capable of retaining 0.6 seconds. So after that, it is no more an interest for your respondent. So it goes from here to here. Then from 2 to 3, from second to third place, it goes within 1.8 seconds. So it means the second object is able to retain for 1.2 seconds. So this is way it is traveled. It is just an example. So this is what actually basically we would take one after another how it is pictured. We will see some more things. Now we want to see some terminologies which have been used or the kind of things which we will measure. We measure 2-3 very important point we will measure. One is very important, one is called area of interest. Area of interest is a spot in the tested image that you can select in order to get detailed statistics particularly on this area. Using this tool, you will simply draw a boundary about a feature or element of the eye scaling stimulus, whether it is a button or a web page or an actor or any characters. Basically, it is whatever it is there, actually it actually shows where it is there. For example, I'm seeing a movie or anything. Suppose if you see a Prithviraj trailer, Okay, now when I see the trailer, okay, how much time you can see that? Is it my eyes are going to the actor or the object behind? So where actually things are going? So that's what we want to measure it. And third is the very effective metric for testing particular parts of the product and packaging designing. Now coming to the heat maps. Heat maps basically give you how it is distributed my interest. You can see a green color pounds. Then there is a yellow and red. Basically see the green, basically it shows a spread. Okay, yellow it shows you the form of intensity, and red actually shows the level of high level of intensity. So basically it is these heat maps have been made with these three colors. Green, which is give you the where all my distribution happens, then where is my the kind of interest is moving and getting concentrated, then red is basically the place where it is retaining for more time. So this is what it shows on heat maps. Talk about the gaze point. Gaze point, as I already told you, the gaze plot, okay, where actually the object is saying that how actually it is there. It shows the location, the order, and the time spent looking at the location or the stimulus. So this is what actually is showing you how basically it travels over there. Now opacity map. Opacity map is basically is way visualize the heat map in a little different way. Basically what happened, the backgrounds have been making into the black, so that the where the spreads are there in actual colors. So whatever the visual colors are there, that colors are showing where your intensity readability is there. It means the black colors are there one which is not in the attention of your customers. We clearly say that this is there. So whenever in your pictures are there, if the picture has more black, it means that it is not having sufficient attention. Okay, so that is what we need to conclude. Now these are the very important, there are things which we just talk about. The first one, area of interest, second is heat map, third is a case point plot, and opacity map. So these four actually helps to measure it. How will you measure? We'll just show you some kind of case study. We recently done one study for a food delivery app. They want to know the impact of their advertisement and reduce the length of the ad insert. Why? Because if your ad slot is, suppose if I want to have around 40-second ad or 60-second ad, or if it is 30-second ad, 20-second ad, so this time slot give you, or you need to spend that cost. So if you have a smaller time slot, then if you can have the same effectiveness, then you will save a lot of money on that. So they want to evaluate, we can do that. And second is they want to see, is there any characters which is good, which any character doesn't have an impact, so we can actually refine that. So that is what done. And we had the one which are going to show you is also the refined one. So it is not actually the raw one, but it is the refined one. Even there also we see that certain plus and minus. Okay, so this is what actually do that. So what we have done is we have taken around 20 respondents in our particular city, and we regularly use this app. Generally all apps who are tested with this bunch of advertisement. So we given masked with the various advertisement. So it is not that we gave only this advertisement. We gave it around 10 advertisement we have shown to them with the various categories. We have shown them on automobile. We have shown one educational institute. So like that, across things we have shown. So respondent may not be knowing which ad we are measuring. We might be knowing it. So that is what actually we want to see that. And then the conclusion, we were successfully able to identify the dull scenes and remove them. So that helped to them. So let us see how it looks like. Like for example, so this is an ad.
किसने मंगाया?
एड्रेस तो हमारा
You
है
see that heat map how it is going there.
उन्हीं के घर में गेस्ट आए हैं। सिंह साहब वेज।
पर एड्रेस तो
चिंदल का बर्थडे आज। ये उसे कहा। वो आ गए हैं वो।
सबरवाल चीकू ने ना फिर से टॉप कर लिया होगा। एड्रेस तो
आ गया जोमेटो।
ये आपने मंगाया?
एड्रेस हमारा है ना।
पर आज क्यों? कुछ अच्छा खाने के लिए आज कुछ स्पेशल होना जरूरी नहीं।
मन किया जोमेटो किया।
Fine. So now you see there are two measurements there. One is a cognitive demand and video clarity. What is a cognitive demand? Cognitive demand is the one how difficult, how we need to understand the efforts we need to put to understand the ad. So lower is the better one. Suppose if your score is something less, 20 to less than 20%, then it is really good. So that's why you can see it is a low score, it is really good, it's a green. And if it is high, mean people difficult to understand what is that ad here, what is that, that then the cognitive demand actually, because you need your demand for more cognitive efforts. So that actually shows that high cognitive scores, which means it is not good. Okay, then second is video clarity, how the clarity is there. Okay, that how the high the values, it's good. Very interesting, you can see the graph, you can see that graph. I will show you how this graph is also moving. Okay, once again here, see that how actually it traveled. So when you see here, we can find where this very low cognitive demand. It means very the cognitive is very challenging here. See this point, you just observe it. So this point, we can see that that's the point actually, a very interesting thing. Okay, so this is a way actually we want to measure it, how this measure, and this will give you frame by frame analysis of which makes you interesting, which is not make you interesting, and it give you a measurement on that. Okay, so as I told you, it give you a percentage seen, what is the time spent, what is the time to take for the first fixation, it measure you all these three. Then we give you the kind of measurement done on various scales like this. Then we can just give you the kind of complete analysis on all micro level analysis, so that we know that where the challenge are, where you have to do that. This is we talking about the area of interest. We can even measure the many other things there. Okay, fine. Now where to use is this. Okay, we can use, as I told you, in web designing, new logo designing. Suppose I want to design a new logo, I can do that. Conference designing, branding, any type of branding you want to do that, we can do that. Product designing, like you want to design a certain product, okay, or product development stage, okay, and I want to do the packaging, I do that. Retail pharmacy and user experience research, like for example web designing. This is what we can do, designing on the web, how we can actually do that. We can just see and speak to them, take to through the visualize with our target audience, and we can have around 10 to 15 people. So basically this we need only around maximum of 20 people, and if they have different specialties, we can have around 10 per specialty, so that we can go and measure them and understand how to do that. So this is the way we need to do that. And new logo designing, we can see the images, navigation, words, layout. So this all we can actually design it and see how actually they do that. Not only that, this we can compare with our old design and new design, or our design vis-a-vis a competitor's design. So we can see all our portion. Many times even we know that whenever we design that, we come with the various 4-5 options. Then generally what we do is, okay, whatever it is pleased to me or pleased to 2-3 people, we just zero no, okay, this go ahead with that. But we many times we never consider a customer's views. So we can always take their views, because they are going to see your product logo every day. So we see that and show to them how it's going to show them. Then coming to the posters and digital content designing. So we see how this, we can design that, and is it really, because we have spent so much of money on that. And this is in a very, very effective medium. We want to really see what extent it actually penetrate to them, whether it is really able to them. You see that whenever I see any kind of ad, especially in YouTube, if you never see that, many times what happen, even though we have an option to skip the ad, we won't do that, because the ads are so good and we don't want to really skip the ad, because that's an effectiveness. So that's what that kind of shows that how the digital contents are made well. So we need to see how we can actually able to do this. Now today we have been using this various digital media for the healthcare. All brands have been using it, so we can really use for to a greater extent. And product designing, we can see that where it has been designed, and whether my brand name is getting attention here or not, which visual where I am getting attention. So this all I can do, and I can redesign that entire packing based on that. So for this portion, how it is there and all. Okay, so this is what I can do, that video conferencing. Now today we have been using video conferencing to everywhere. Even I am presenting my views in your video conferencing. Like, so how we are actually is able to do that. See, now video conferencing is what? Now I am just speaking to a kind of nothing. So I don't know, I am just speaking to a dark screen, or I am just speaking to that one which is, I don't know, my people are not around me. Okay, but how to make it effective, this is more important. So this is what actually we need to see how we can make it well. Now conference content and placement, we know that we have been spending lakhs of rupees for conferences, but many times what we see, they put in such a way that brand names are nowhere seen, able to see. They can say that, I asked many times, doctor, have you gone to the stall? They say yes, Okay, which stall? That this that they're not able to recollect the name. So what is the use of your putting a stall certain lakhs of rupees where the doctors or the customers are not able to recall the name? So you have to see that where actually is to be done. Now retail pharmacy. Now retail pharmacy is one for OTC. Suppose if you are to focus on OTC, this is we are not using it much. The way FMCG plays this, we are not using that. Today, if you see the the kind of various pharmacies, all A-class pharmacies like Wellness Forever, or those pharmacies, they place this all very scientifically in such a way that how the product can take that attention, because in our OTC you see that, as I told you, it should please your eyes. When the moment you please your eyes, yes, then your product is sold. So that you can how to do that. So that's what we want to do that. And this is what I want to just say that what is the future aspects of eye scaling technology. I'm sure that we are want to take this initiative in pharma and healthcare to ensure that it is referrally go and reach them. Our attention or our interest will be only one thing, is we want to see how we can make a better ROI in the communication and in the marketing. So this tool is a research tool. It's unlike any conventional research tool. This is exactly captures, as Mr. Verma has told, that I never tell lie. Okay, so this is what exactly you're telling, that eyes are there, because eyes are the most powerful thing in anywhere there. Okay, so we want to see how this technology can use that, and sure that the scaling will be implemented in many other devices as well, and easier that, because we are also making an AI platform to go do the same thing, same effect also. So there will be two technology we are actually looking. One is with the Google with the glass, and another is without the glass. It is AI. So both are actually we can do that, and we have been able to really take it. And I'm sure that in the coming days, people more and more people will use and taste it and make use of that. I think thank you very much for the opportunity, and I think probably we will just come back. I am ready to give you a question and answer for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kaliraj ji. Arpan, from here you can.
Yeah, we can complete the question and answers. So I think there are questions in Facebook also, probably by this time, or you also have any questions from marketing side, Sanath, you can just post so that
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions which I noted.
Yeah. So before,
Kaliraj ji, yeah.
Yeah, before that, I just would like to give recognition to the people who have joined in Facebook. There are a lot of people joined, and we have Kuldeep Solanki and Amarendra Kumar from JB Chemicals, JB Pharma, and Purnima Kanoja, Harshal Karlekar, Pankaj Srivastava, Virendra Siddeshwar, Sudeep Bhaumik, Armugam Arasan, and Rohit Vilankar, Babu Srivastan, and Akhilesh Yadav, along with Chisti. So these are the people who joined and appreciated. Pankaj Srivastava sir का जो comment है, wow, seems very interesting and very different from normal deliberations. The future of marketing is certainly going to be very interesting. Enjoyed the session.
Thank you, sir.
So, thank you all for your comments, and yeah, please go ahead, Sanath.
Yeah. You have been talking about that there are two types of stimulus which happens and which enables the eyesight plays a very insightful in making dense decisions. One is with the static stimuli and the dynamic stimuli. So would like to understand that the eye scale research tool is different and unique from the conventional research application. You want to say in that way?
Well, this is basically a tool, as I rightly said. Like we use a conventional method, what we just ask them question and answer. Okay, in that question answer, we you have a two things. One is we have a in open end and closed end questions. So mostly we have a interacting and do that. There, what happened many times, what the words have been spelled out, only those are captured. But we never see what is the eye movement, what is the eye involvement is there. For example, like suppose, when we do that, we are not using all organs, our organs, for example. Like for example, whenever meeting you, we do a handshake. Okay, even though COVID has prohibited that, but when you do that handshake, will give you that how that other guy is interested to talk with me. Okay, that will give me a feeling of that. So that sense of touchability, touch actually it give you a sense. Same way the eye also, we are going to use that. How as I told, I think even Mr. Verma told that I never tell lie. Okay, so you can actually see and understand what actually the eye, where it is travels, where am I really interested that I'm able to please my customers, or able to please the eyes of my customer. So that I'm going to capture it. So otherwise the process is the same, like it's the same way I'm taking the respondent, I do the sampling, I do everything and everything do that. Now what I do conventionally, I'll ask is whether you like it or not. He say, yes, I like it. But we don't know whether actually he is liked. Okay, whether his eyes are really taken that or not. Even when I shown that, he may not even seen the entire thing actually. So he cannot tell that, yeah, I like it. But it give, when you talk about whether I actually gone there or not, that whether, for example, I have the picture, I have that visual, I have Amitabh Bachchan picture, and I have a kind of brand name, and I have various things. Where I have, the guy has seen only Amitabh Bachchan, he has not traveled even after the Amitabh Bachchan, then what is the use? My brand name is not captured. I'm just giving an example purpose, so no other thing. Okay, I just want to show how this. So this is where I want to really measure it actually here.
Right. Very key words like I never lie. So how can iSkill change the Indian pharma marketing dynamics?
See, today now companies have started inquiring us like how we can make use of this and how we can do that. We started doing, especially for visual aid is the one area where actually we want to really do that. Now today what happened is we have very less time, because visual aid has been made within 2-3 days, and we entire thing went, and then we don't have a time to make a decision actually which one I can like more than. But there are a lot of debates take place, okay, whether I can go for this or that. So here this I can just show them and reduce their debate time, and I can just present it. Okay, this is what exactly been used. So I can do scientifically, I can make them, measure them, and then provide them. Okay, this is what I like it most, or this is not like it less. So I can actually show them on that, and that actually we make it over there.
If I have understood it correctly, based on our assumption and practical experience, we have been developing the promotion inputs and all those things which will. Now you want to say that the data backup is there based on the high-end technology.
Yeah, Sanad, I want to add a little more. See, what today we are doing is, I decide, my decision is based on few people, that based on my own experience, I decide which one like it most. But this is, we are preparing for whom? For my customers. What is my, I am going to shake it up, whether my customer like it or not. So I want to understand and see that. So this we are doing also conventionally, we are doing that research also. Many times what we do, we see that, suppose concept testing. What I'll do, I'll show the concept, I'll discuss the concept with the customer, I ask him whether he is right. But then what happens is, then we take the feedback and give it to them. But today what's happening is, most of the time we don't have a time. Basically that is what it is. It is not that they are not ready to do that. They are ready to do that. Okay, they don't have a time. So they want to do that. So this tool, we are going to reduce the burden of time, and we want to ensure that we want to very fast turnaround time, we want to work it out, because all are set well. So I mean, all are set designed, so we can don't take much time to evaluate and give you the response. So we'll make it and give it to you. And one point we are telling is, yes, definitely I am the boss in deciding what I want to do, give it to my customer, but definitely we consider what customer also like it. Okay, that is the point we want to add it up.
That brings to a question that what is the future aspect and scope of eye tracking technology in pharma and allied industries?
Well, see, pharma and allied industries is a very, very technical savvy and very knowledgeable customers. Like unlike any other industry, that people, that respondents are very, like for take a FMCG, our people are very common people. There is not a specialized people. But When you say pharma, the people are specialized. Even if you meet nurses, midwives, they are actually specialized in their one domain. If I'm meeting an ophthalmologist, so he has his own domain knowledge. So these are very expertise. Today, many times you see that a brand manager is just only a science background. He is developing a kind of brand communication and visual aid and telling the doctor who is more capable or more knowledgeable, saying that please, this is what I'm just, he's dictating that. So that is a commanding power of brand management. Now that brand manager actually ensure that when you're giving to them, we just telling that you please, this is what we are going to tell them. So we in the future we want to really measure that. At one point, if customer feel that we are doctors feel that come on, this is not so good, yeah, it is not right, it is not, it look like Bhagava say something. If you feel that, then you lose the confidence totally, not only with the brand, with the manager, with even a company. So we need to be very, very careful. So when people are knowledgeable and getting upgraded themselves in science and technology, even your customers are highly technology savvy now, tech savvy. So we need to be updated ourselves to bring you a new latest technology and to align with them. That is what we want to say actually.
I just wanted to add something here. Excuse me for that. So,
Yeah.
so when you're talking about the customer, why? Because brand manager definitely is not as superior to the customer who is a doctor. Unlike other industry, in other industries, we are more knowledgeable than the customer. But pharma is the only industry where your customer is more intelligent than you, more scholar than you. So definitely respecting his time and his preferences is going to be definitely a game changer, what I believe. And this technology is going to definitely have a great place in pharma. Sanath, you can also bring your experience with the designing of the LBLs and our visual aids. Some are some of the greatest designs, and some have some poor, maybe because of the and those great designs were definitely done based on the customer preferences and trial and error methods. But
Yes.
iScale is something which will give you the evidence why you should have this visual this side and why your brand name should be on the left side or right side. These kind of analytics it's going to add. So this is what I understand.
Right. I think you are perfectly right. I think
based on our experience and assumption, lot of things have been happening, and iScale will give us lot of data analytics that what the customer actually going through. And based on that, very rightly said, today the customer is king. So respecting each of his second is going to matter a lot. And in those fraction of second, if I am able to touch the right nerve, then definitely we will be able to strengthen our relationship.
Exactly.
So one thing we would like to understand, Kalaraj, it's about do this iScale technology is going to invade the privacy of healthcare professionals and the how it is?
See, it is any technology today. It is no more, exclusive, or it is not, safeguarding it. Suppose the moment you have the mobile, okay, you are already been invaded by many way. For example, in the moment if I going to do a Google search, okay, suppose it will give me a flashing so many ads of the product what I'm interested. I'm literally surprised here. How do I know that? For example, when I just want to, sometimes I want to just buy one jeans. Okay, then there are all levies and many ads are keep on coming. I was wondering here, wait, I not even told anybody where I am actually given the thought, but why the ads are coming? And for example, last week I just thought when we discussed at home that okay, chalo, we will go for buy one house there. Okay, and immediately home.com, Naukri, every noprogram.com, everybody started giving ad. I was wondering here where I just want to see any spy cam is there in my home. Okay, but we have that mobile that will sufficiently give you all your private information to the AI. That is what intelligence goes been captured already. Okay, but we are going to use it positively. Okay, that is very important. How to use it positive? How to really see that where we are aligning ourselves to them, and definitely they are also going to like it, because say I'm going to talk to talk to Sanath, okay, do something which you are not interested. What is the use? I'm going to spend you around 10 to 15 minutes, which nowhere you are interested. What is the use? No use. But rather, if I'm going to talk to you something which you are interested, then definitely you like it most. So this is going to really safeguard the interest, at the same time going to give you beneficial to you as well.
Very rightly said that unless and until it interests your customer, he is not going to strengthen the talk. And no communication means no strengthening of a business outcome. Very rightly said this. And if I'm summarizing that, iScale is going to help us to understand the customer and able to deliver what the customer is looking for. So it is just one of the part of this big data analytics, what is happening across the globe nowadays.
Yes.
Can I summarize in that way? That
Yes,
can be a one-line statement.
Not before you summarize and conclude, I have a couple of questions to Mr. Kalairaj.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so it was wonderful and very unconventional knowledge. A lot of new knowledge has been imbibed in this, and then thank you for this.
Thank you, sir.
Very fantastically, as Sanat has also told, very fantastically you have described the stimuli, this thing, static and dynamic, and very well articulated process like AOI, heat maps, gauge spot, and then opacity map. So that describes the entire power of this of these services, of the products. Now, my only 2-3 queries is how a pharma company, if they are interested, how will they go for it's a sample random customer selections and take them into this list, enrolled into this, and then test over there, or it's a all across carpet?
No, we basically, as I told you, we don't require a bigger sample. We need around 20 to 30. 30 is the basic ideal sample size. This 30, we actually always tell them that who are your key opinion leader, KOL. Okay, you consider the KOL across the place, across the city, you just give them, and those we will randomly pick them from that. For example, you give 100 KOL, we pick them randomly, because what happens is if I ask you to give 30, then you may give 30 all inclined to you. So we will try to pick them from that. That why KOL? Because they are the powerful people, because in anything that they are going to be actually, rather than key opinion leader, I would say contributing doctors. They are going to contribute for your brand growth. So we are going to take them and do that. So we will take on a KOL and we'll pick them with them actually.
So that you will connect those doctors out of your own.
Exactly. We connect with them and speak to them, and we'll do that. We can tell them that we are doing for this company, so do that. So many times what happens is we do in a disguised way, so that what happens is you don't have that, because as I told you that I will not show only your brand. I will show another 2-3 brand, so that your mask, that my opinion towards that biasness will be eliminated.
Correct. Now my next question is which is very important is, now the majority, what I could understand, that this is going to influence my decision over my visual impact of my products or brand, correct?
Yeah.
So if I say today's brand building, I believe Sanat also will be aligned. Today's brand building, so there was a time decades back or 2 decades back, the visual impact was having a lot of influence on the brand building, maybe more than 50-60%. Now today's brand building, if I see, the customer engagement, customer relationship is overshadowing the visual impact of the brand building. So how it can help me in customer engagement, or is there any kind of role in customer engagement or customer relationship development?
Yes, what we do is, basically what we generally do is we here do 2 things. One is this tracker machine we actually do and engage with them and measure it. That is one. Then we coupled with that, even we done with the Zomato case also. Zomato case also, what happened, once survey is over, then we had around 20 minutes talk on an extrovert talk with that dang, okay, what do you like, what is the thing. So we actually engage them actually. So we tell them, okay, now even that time also, first 10 minutes we just talk about overall, then 10 minutes we going to have a study product. So at most end we discuss on specifically study product. Suppose I am going to study on particular brand. Okay, that particular brand, then we'll make a discussion and try to get his perspective on that product.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Korea.
Thank you.
Over to you, Sanat.
Sandeep, I would like to
Fantastic
add one
question.
thing over here related to that customer engagement and the brand building through visual impact, what you were asking about. It is probably Mr. Kaliraj can help me, can redirect if I'm going something other. Customer engagement is for a certain set of population of the entire covered list of a particular company. It can't be a mass level. But what Mr. Kaliraj will bring to the dais is more about, it is more mass level. So
Correct.
those visual impacts and those fraction of seconds which will impact our customer to get hooked to the brand, that will help. But the major 80-20 ratio, what we were actually known for, that 80% will come from those 20% of customer, and for those 20% of business from the 80% of doctors, it will help us in more alignment. Is it right, Mr. Kaliraj?
Yeah, you are perfectly right. See, that's the reason when I'm answering Sandeep, I was telling that we will take this opinion from the key opinion leaders or key contributing doctors. That is point number one. Point number two is, when the discussion happens, 50% of the time the discussion will be totally masked. We don't know. So that what happens is, I can come to know to what extent I may make an impact to Sanat. Okay, I'm talking to Dr. Sanat, but what able to I'm making impact. So I will, get to know from you without telling that why I'm coming or where I'm coming from. Okay, then after 10 minutes, then I'm going to tell him, sir, we are coming from X&Y company and X&Y brand. Then this is what is there. So what is your, do you think we are aligned with that? Then we can want to do that. Because we already captured eye tracking, we already captured his views and everything with unbiased way. Now
Correct.
here this is going to do that, and then we can say, yeah, fine, okay, actually, okay, probably good, you are good, you are actually taking initiative such a way that you are really want to involve us. So that's the feeling they will give at the end of the day. It is like, suppose it is like, suppose they are going to design a new pizza flavors. Now that pizza, Domino's actually going to take a opinion from people and take that flavor, care, do that. And exactly, that is the way the paneer has come. Tikka paneer has come because of that only. Okay, because I like it. North Indian people like it that. So that's the flavor. Even today, that is one of the hot selling flavor of pizzas. Because irrespective of any pizza, they always have that flavor. So it has come because of that opinion actually. So that's what the research plays a role.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaliraj. Last 1 hour has been becoming more interesting, and it has given a new direction about the promotion part, our engagement, or customer strengthening, relationship strengthening activity. Over to you, Ashish, sir.
Yeah, so I think we have had a great session, and there are many questions from the Facebook and YouTube that we will take later, because we are now eager to have a session with Sandeep Deji. Yeah, over to you, Arpan.
Thank you so much, ICS sir. Indeed, it was a wonderful first session that we had with Mr. Kaliraj, and it's really true that eyes never lie. And that is why eye scaling becomes so important. And in fact, today's session is LPC 111. That is the Nelson, which we always say. And in cricket, this was made famous by the legendary umpire, late David Shepherd, who always used to hop and skip whenever the team score was a Nelson, that is 111, 222, or 333. So indeed, that's the significance of 111. So today we have our second speaker, who is one of the founder persons for LPC. In fact, he has been there almost since inception. And whenever we ran into trouble, he was our go-to man, as today as well, which he mentioned also at the beginning when I called him yesterday. And it was absolutely something that he accepted very heartily and said that, yes, I'll come over. So a brief introduction of Sandeep sir, that he's a person who has a hunger for learning, and that is what he has done and has successfully enjoyed the journey of 30 years. And the hunger for learning is still there. The fire is still burning within. He started his career with Dr. Reddy's, and then he has traveled the line through companies like Nicholas Piramal, IPCA, etc. And he has headed the domestic business and the CMO BD as in Gland Pharma and he has transformed the business to grow more significantly. What else? He has headed the business in Claris Injectable Domestic, along with the lead in the marketing initiatives across the globe. He has led with the critical care, the key account management, and the government institution business for Alkem. And now he is in Acum's group as a chief business officer, heading Acumentis Healthcare, Infinity Vertical, as well as the Nicholas Healthcare Limited. So having significant expertise on international business development, procurement, supply chain, production, planning, and human resource management, he's a very good speaker and a thorough gentleman. So we welcome Sandeep Desa to LPC, and believe me, his journey is something which every youngster who has a dream of coming into the pharma industry, he will always or she will always try to emulate the path that he has traversed in his journey so far. So the first thing that I would like to ask him, sir, that after this COVID scare has slowly but surely subsided, there has been an increase in hiring. Again, companies have opened the doors because 2020, 2021, it was more of the other side. The doors were closed. In fact, people were even shown the door. But now slowly, as we have gained this win over a slow win over the pandemic, the companies have started hiring. So, sir, what is the most important trait that you look for when hiring a new employee?
Thank you, Arpan. At the outset, I'm a little flabbergasted out of your introduction. You know, I probably do not deserve so much of words. Thank you. Thanks a lot. If you ask me the hiring traits, my view, in general, I see there is two things. One is generic competencies, and there is one functional competencies. It depends upon the positions you are hiring, the hierarchy you are hiring. Obviously, the generic competencies, some of the generic competencies are same, common for all kind of hierarchy. Whether you are taking a medical representative or an area manager, frontline manager, or a GM or business head, BBU head, certain generic competencies will be same, like, you know, integrity, honesty, hardworking, discipline. This kind of generic competencies will be same for everybody in every level. Now, coming to functional competencies, obviously what we do is we sit with HR and then put forth a clear SOP on the functional competencies based on the hierarchies. So I'm not going to those nitty-gritty because all the people knows that what is the role and responsibility of different level, and accordingly functional competencies they would like to get for. In simple words, when any candidature comes to me in any level for the final signature and all, what I see, one thing I see that the background of the family background of that candidate. The modest I have seen the modest family background, the lower mediocre family background is always give you the better delivery than that of the very affluent and agile family background. This is without any bias, without any discrimination, my experience I'm just sharing. So I will request the audience and the team not to get hurt in any of the word if they have some different kind of background. This I see, this is my personal view. Also, what I see is the stability in his career, how frequently he changes, and is there any genuine reason for the changes? If the genuine reason, the only genuine reason I favor is the career growth. If somebody felt that he was get stuck in his responsibility and he's an ambitious guy, he would like to get change for a better role, I always favor that. I always appreciate that. So stability is another factor. Number 3 is performance. What is his past performance? So ultimately, at the end of the day, we are in the game of delivery. So if you take a medium range of performer, you will expect a medium range of performance in your company also. And then how in the senior level, I also see that how much how much innovative he is, how much experimental he is, how much flexible he is, how better team player he is. These are the traits I see. Now, coming to my personal view, if you see, hiring is really a difficult task today. I'm telling you, it is for everybody. And it is better to retain people rather than go for hire. I was going through a video, I don't know how many of you must have gone through. Rajiv Talreja, a small video has been viral in the last few days. Fantastically, he has described the world of business in terms of hiring perspective. So somebody was saying him that we are getting very high difficulties for hiring and keeping the people, retain the people. So he described the world of business in 3 different ways. He told there was the era which is being told as the industrial revolution, which was in our fathers, means our earlier generation, my father's generation. So where the people were working for survival, and so there was no attrition because opportunities was less. Even if boss was abusive, even if the work culture was not conducive, even if pay was less, even if there was a pay cut, we were hearing. My father was working for Hindustan Motors, and I can still recall there was layoffs. There was layoffs. 15 days layoffs, 7 days layoffs in a month. But still, he never thought about leaving the company because opportunity was less and his motto was survival. Now, after that, the era came of our generations is the information revolution, where IT companies came, brand building concept came. Okay, so where we got a much better pay, much better working environment. And then for our generation, the objective is standard of life. From survival, we came to standard of life. Now in standard of life, we think for better EMI, better car, and then accordingly we frame our journey in the career. Why it is more challenging in this generation? Because post 2010, it is a social revolution. And in social revolution, the jobs are plenty. There are plenty of jobs. There are a lot of opportunities. So here the need is quality of life. So from standard of life, now it came to quality of life. Now, if we do not provide a quality role, quality responsibilities, quality of job, quality of environment, quality of place where they're working, quality of pay, quality of rewards, recognitions, then they will tell you, thank you very much, I have another opportunity. So I personally feel as a leader of my business, I am working on this with my HR to try to retain people more than the hiring. So my request will be to the audience and all others will be more than hiring, let us focus on retention. I see the things in that way, Arpan.
Thank you, Sandeep sir. That was really a great answer. And in fact, you very well spoke about the different generations of workforce, which started from veterans, the baby boomers, the Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z that we are currently hiring. And the attributes for each generation of workforce is so very different. So sometimes hiring decisions may actually boomerang. So you rightly said that it is always better retaining people than hiring them. Another mention you made about the family values of the employees that you are hiring, because sometimes the culture within the family plays a very important role as far as the mentality of the employee is concerned. Sometimes it is a need and sometimes it is the greed. So the decisions that you make, which is between the need and the greed, is going to determine how good the employee actually performs in the organization. So, sir, you have been instrumental at hiring so many people. You spoke about experience, the performance and everything. So how much on a grade and scale of 1 to 5 would you give experience as well as success to a person who doesn't have experience but has got a die-hard passion, a desire to succeed, but he doesn't have any certifications that he has so far succeeded? So how much will you go by your gut feeling?
Very apt questions in today's perspective. You know, I believe in another LPC session, I have touched base this subject. literally, if you see the people who, even if he's a fresh guy, but he has got a huge desire for growth, will perform much better than the experienced guy. But then what happened today, the expectation in every level, from the promoters, from the investors, from the leadership, the expectation is so high that nobody would like to take the risk of hiring a fresh guy and give him time and handhold and then groom him. Everybody needs immediate results, including me, when I also see that I have to attain this kind of goal. So it is better to hire experienced guy, and our expectation is the moment you are getting some experienced guy, he will give you some immediate results. So very, very apt question, and probably this is the right time to think for the leadership community in the industry, that whether we should have a mix of experienced and desired, passionate, fresh candidate in the team, by which there will be a balance of optimism. That will be my answer, basically.
Okay.
So it should be a mix.
Fantastic.
We should give chance to the high desired fresh people as well.
Wonderful. So if fresh people who are having the fire in the belly and the passion and a desire to succeed, well, Sandeep sir is the right person. So definitely he has got an eye for talent, and he will definitely go by his gut feelings. Now, there is something that is said that if you want to feed a person for a day, give him a fish. But if you wish to feed him for a lifetime, teach him how to fish. Well, that has been the success mantra for many leaders. So, sir, what is the most important attribute that you look for successful leaders?
If I keep on counting the different attributes, it will cross 2025. But then few things which I believe all successful leaders are having is first and foremost is the vision, clear vision for the business which he or she is in. The integrity, honesty, and then he should have a clear communication to the team. Clear communication to the team to make them understand the vision. Means it should not be like he has a vision, but the team do not know about the vision. So he should have that ability to influence the others with that vision. So ability to influence the others. Then decision making, delegations, okay, team building. These are the few attributes. And then resilience is one of the major things today's VUCA world. Being resilient is very, very important, because many a time you will fail. Your every initiative will not give you results. Your every experiment may not be successful. But then you have to come back. You have to come back strongly, probably doubly strong. So these are the few attributes I believe every successful leader is having, and then we can elaborate more. We can have a goal, we can have an objective, we can have passion, we can say the innovations, everything. So it makes so few things, 4-5 things. If you ask me once again, I'll tell: clear vision, ability to influence, to communicate that vision to the team, that making a conducive environment on the team, then integrity, passion, and drive.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. In this VUCA world, especially, like you made a mention about the volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, and the ambiguity, this becomes even more important. So coming to a very different part, sir, conflicts within an organization bring down productivity, and there is always a steep rise in attrition. So how do you keep your team motivated despite all the conflicts and obstacles that come in the way?
See, wherever there are conflicts, I always try to convert them to the positive confrontation. Whenever there is a conflict, I always try to give a place and invite them, indulge them to discuss, debate, but in a positive confrontation. Because the moment it's a positive confrontation, it gives you a lot of new windows. That and both the party, means who are arguing in the conflicts, they are free to give their views, and then started listening to others also. So that is over a period of time, you have to build that kind of culture of respect within the team, where there won't be any kind of conflict. There will be always a positive confrontation. There will be ideas. There will be ideas. There will be ideas from the junior. There will be ideas from the senior. So ego-less, respectful culture, if you develop in your team, all conflicts will convert into the positive confrontations. So I try to do that always.
Sir, do you think the
starts from,
open door policy becomes a very good way to resolve conflict? The open door policy?
I will say there is no open door policies being written, but we have not written any SOP as a policy. But then that is a practice we have started doing, and that comes, that comes from the top. So when I personally meeting my team, when I am sitting with them, I listen to them. I give them that space to, give their ideas and then debate. At the end of the day, some ideas may be scrapped, some ideas may be overshadowed, some ideas may be given a little different directions. But then at the end of the day, they feel contributing, that they also feel respected, they feel valuable, they feel they're contributing to the business or contributing to the strategy. So that's the way conflicts comes down, and then people become more respectful for each other. As far as obstacle is concerned, yes, every business there are obstacles, there are hindrances. So we take those obstacles as our challenges. We bring out the possible solutions, and then we experiment. If we are successful in plan A, good. If we are not successful in plan A, we go for plan B. We make some contingency plan. And that's a continuous process and dynamic, Urban.
Excellent. So with a plan A, you always have a plan B ready, a contingency plan. If the number one plan fails, then you can always fall back to the second one. Sir, you have had a wonderful 3 decades of experience in the pharma industry. So how do you see the IPM evolved in the last 2 decades?
IPM is one of the robust market across the world, Indian pharma market. When US being the biggest market, is grown by around 3%, 2.5%, 3%, 4%. So Indian pharma market has grown with a CAGR of around 8-9%. Apart from that COVID surge, and the major thing which has come out is not about the value only. There are a lot of Indian companies in last 2 decades. They become a leader, and earlier in 80s, 90s, the multinationals was ruling, and last 2 decades the Indian companies are ruling. One of the major reason, in my view, is the kind of aggression and the kind of strategic intent they put in. So that is one of the major reasons that they have grown exponentially. In terms of brand building also, they become the leader. Now, in the first 300 brands, I believe we will see more than 250 brands are of the Indian companies, or more than that. Over a period of time, which became very clearly visible, is that that Indian pharma market has understood that the therapy-wise focus and the chronic therapy has contributed a lot of growth perspective in the Indian pharma growth. Last 10 to 15 years, if you see, there is another part which has been grown in a much better way. So if you see, we till 2005 or so, we were talking 2005, even 2008, we were talking about pharmaceutical industry. Now, majorly we talk about healthcare. Now there is a transition from pharmaceutical to healthcare. Earlier, it was majority with the drug and pharmaceuticals. Now it is becoming a healthcare. So pharmaceutical being a part of healthcare. Why this transition, why this change is, there is a change came in the mindset of the government and in the treatment procedures. The hospitals and the treatment under one roof concept has become very prominent nowadays. See, 10 years back or 20 years back, we were seeing at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 doctors clinic, personal clinic within 500 meters radius of our residence. Now we will see they are reducing every day. And where they are going to a nearby hospitals or nursing homes. So there are certain reasons in it. Why? Because patients are also getting treatment under one roof. Earlier, the doctor was seeing him in the clinic, giving some pathological test. For that, patient was going to some pathological lab, going to a medicine shop for getting the medicines. Now they are entering in one hospital and coming back with all pathological lab, ultrasound, scan, every kind of test, medicines, everything is in hand. He's just coming out. He's just going in, coming out with all the solutions. So that makes a change in the treatment facilities. Now, why I'm bringing this in, how this is impacting the pharma industry is now pharma industry out of around 15-20% is being controlled by the hospital and the healthcare industry. So probably in future we need to see that how this healthcare industry getting more and more vibrant and can control the Indian pharma industry. That is one. Secondly, there is a lot of changes in terms of customer centricity, which has been seen. Now it is coming to the patient centricity. From customer centricity, now the era is coming to the patient centricity. A lot of research on this has been done by the companies, and they're successfully doing. During COVID, there was a lot of online treatment facilities has come, which is also continuing. So now it is becoming digital, though doctors are treating patients. So a lot of changes has been seen, and which is good for the industry, which is actually adding value to the industry. Now today we have seen Mr. Kalaida's presentation, which was another unique thing. Probably down the line, 5 years, a lot of uniqueness will be built in by this iScale, and which will add a lot of value to the industry. So this is evolving basically. Yeah.
Correct, sir. So you made a wonderful mention about the pharma industry going from illness to wellness, from customer centricity to patient centricity. Now from the KOLs, it has now become DOLs, that is a digital opinion leaders. So sir, how do you see the market behave in the last few years, and how do you comprehend the market in the next few years?
I believe this question is already being addressed in the last questions. So
yes.
only thing is last 2 years we have seen a huge growth because of the COVID, which I feel that in coming few years we will not see, and I would not like to see. People would not like to see that kind of market growth because of the COVID and all. It was very bad basically. It was too bad.
True. So there is a saying that today's risk is tomorrow's gain. So today's pain is tomorrow's gain, and then if you don't take the risk, you don't stand to gain. So would you like to tell us about any risks that you had taken in your career and how they have made you the person you are today?
A lot of risk. I will not tell risk, I tell challenges. People told me you are taking risk. I told them I'm taking challenges. See, I had been very consistent performer in doctoral days. I was a A+ regional manager during my last stint, continuously for 3.5 years. But then when challenges came, I took challenges of Nicholas Piramal joining there. And though Nicholas Piramal was a fantastic company and I was doing well, I was heading east, then came to Bombay and transformed the business of West Zone. I was a probable candidate for a national sales manager, and that time I was also saying, when you are stuck, you feel that you are stuck and you are getting monotony, and you have the capability to go the next level. And then the same thing happens with me. And then I was a probable candidate for the NSM, and then probably Level Next. We had a program called Level Next. In the Level Next, I had not been nominated. So I switched over and took the challenge as an NSM in a gland pharma. People told, nobody knows which company you are joining. It's a small company. So leaving a company like Nicholas, you are joining gland pharma, it's a wrong decision. It's a huge risk you have taken. But I told I took challenges. So-called risk, and really joining there, first 15 days was nightmare, because coming from a company like Nicholas, the then top company, top 2-3 company, and a company which is not in the list. So there is a huge culture gap. So lot of challenges, lot of experiment did, but I took that challenges. I thought, okay, I will make it. And then 8 years I was there, and then I made it. Again, when I left Gland, I was a entire head of domestic operation and business development with Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal with me. And again, I left and joined Cladis Injectable. Stable career, Hyderabad. I had my own house, everything, a stable job, stable family. I went to Ahmedabad. Again, people say you are taking risk. That is the way it is. So this is my career risk I'm talking about. Otherwise, everyday work, we are taking a lot of risk. I love to take risk in terms of see, I always say that challenge the status quo. Unless you are challenging the status quo, you cannot have the exponential growth. Okay, now, like the business, I took into the Competencies Infinity vertical. This business was an 18 crores business last year, and this year we took this challenge of 60 crores. So you can say that is a risk in terms of 18 crores to 60 crores. But then I feel we are in right directions. And then first 2 months we are in right path. So a lot of risk taken, and then taking risk is one of the attributes of good leaders or successful leaders. Unless you have a risk-taking capability, you cannot be a successful leader. So a lot of risk taken, and we'll keep on taking risk in future as well. Love to take risk.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So challenging the stereotypes and of course breaking the status quo that is there. So that has made you the person and made you capable of taking the risk. So one thing that I would always take a cue from your last answer. Is there any decision that you still feel that you shouldn't have taken? Anything that you still regret?
Well, I do not repent for any of my decisions I took in my personal and professional life. I always enjoyed every day of my working, even in personal life. I am a cool, composed, calm personality. I generally do not react, not abuse. And as a whole, I don't feel that I would not have liked to take those decisions which I have taken, which was my mistake. I don't feel so. But if you still insist me, then probably sometime I feel that if I would have I would have been a little more aggressive during my Gland days in terms of my own career perspective. So I would have been in a much better place today. Means what I wanted to say is, probably 2-3 years period, I was little complacent kind of, and then I did the same thing which I was doing. I don't know whether I have been expressive enough or not. Means 8 years I was there. So my initial 3-4 years was every year growth in terms of my career in Gland only. But then last 3-4 years, I was a little stuck type. So which in earlier life, I would have taken a faster decision. So where I was a little complacent, and then maybe I had my own house there. Hyderabad is a good city. ICS knows that people would love to live there. And then my daughter was studying. So I thought, okay, life is going kind of. So probably that is only one period, not repentance again, but then probably would have been better.
Yes, absolutely. The city of the Nizam, and of course, for a long staying there, the biryani would have also been something that kept you in the comfort zone. And as it is said that nothing grows in the comfort zone, and we really need to pull out ourselves out of that comfort zone. But then, Alexander said a very, very beautiful line that I saw, I came, I conquered. And your journey also seems to be like that, with one or two hiccups in between. Otherwise, you have always listened to your heart. You have always gone by your gut feeling. And that is why you have been able to convert the challenges into an opportunity by taking the risk. So, sir, currently you are looking after two companies, basically, Acumentis as well as Nicholas. So what are you most proud about your organization?
See, both the company is a group of company of Acums Drugs and Pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
And as you know, Acums, I am really very proud. Really very proud, because this is the organization which you should study, and which you will get a lot of inspiration. It's full of inspiration. I'll just take a time and then I'll just say a few words regarding the promoters. We heard about Dhirubhai Ambani was working on the petrol pump and all, and then his dream was like that. When I have been told the life history of our promoters, Mr. Sandeep Jain, two brothers, and under their able guidance of their father, our respected DC Jain sir, it is really inspiring. Both of them started their career or their business with a 55 square feet space in Delhi, and with a nominal, money in hand. And in 2005, when they started Acums, the plant they have put in, he said that our lifetime aspiration was 100 crores. So when our lifetime aspiration was 100 crores, so our father, who was a very famous company secretary, he told you have to pay the income tax. So it's like 100 crores turnover is the lifetime aspiration, by which we'll get 15 crores profit, and 7.5 crores, both the brothers, we are happy. And then father said that you have to pay the income tax. So to get 15 crores, you need to do 120 crores. So they took the aspiration, lifetime aspiration of 120 crores. And the first year, their target was around 19 crores. And they achieved 194 crores. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is today. We are approaching 5,000 crores in 15 years of time, 16, 17 years of time. There are a lot of things to be learned in this. Today, probably, I don't know whether you know or not, 12 to 13% of entire Indian pharmaceutical industry's volume is being manufactured by Acums.
Yes.
For whichever company they are manufacturing. 12 to 13% of the entire Indian pharmaceutical market's manufacturing is being done by Acums. And it is going to be increased, because recently we have acquired the another company called Onkur Drugs facility. The moment it will be in the complete capacity, this 12-13% will be more. There are a lot of things to be cherished. 17,000 people are working. They're one of the best employers. So a lot of things. I'm proud of my organization. I'm proud of my promoters. And then now, apart from CDMO, our marketing companies, like two of the marketing verticals I lead. Then there are other marketing verticals under the able leadership of Mr. O.P. Singh sir, who is also known for transformations. So we are very confident that we will make the organization more proud in coming days.
Absolutely, sir. So under the able leadership and guidance of OP sir, I'm very sure Acums is going to reach newer heights. And I would like to summarize this with one of the lines our ex-president Shri Kalam had said, that dreams are not something that we see when we are sleeping. Rather, dreams are something which will not allow us to sleep. And that is something which has been the golden mantra for the success of any person who dared to think the impossible. Because successful person is one who can make the ordinary do the extraordinary. There is no word like impossible in the dictionary of that person. So thank you so much, Sandeep sir, for such wonderful answers. And they were really candid. All the answers, they came directly from your heart. It was not something that you just prepared. It was just something that you felt, your thoughts, and you shared it with all of us. I think ICS sir and Sanat sir, they are having some questions maybe, which have been pouring in from YouTube and Facebook. So I'll go over to ICS sir first, whether he has got some questions for our speakers today. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Arpan. There were many questions from Facebook. I think Sanat can look into the YouTube so that we can. So from Purnima, one of our recent speaker, I think there were many questions came. I think one of the most relevant one here is what is your biggest motivation to take risks? This is to Sandeep.
My biggest motivation of take risk is success, taking the business into the next level, next orbit. Or if I more precisely say, the biggest motivation of taking risk is my own pleasure after making it a success. My own satisfactions, my own confidence, reassurance on my own ability. Those are the things are my biggest motivation. Once I take the risk and I overcome the risk, I become ecstatic. I celebrate. I feel I am the great. I feel I'm the best. And that is the only thing which has made me reach here today.
Excellent. It's always the self satisfaction and the motivation which drives through taking the risk and achieving the going through that success. So thank you very much. And one more question. I think there is a appreciation from Kuldeep Solanki. Insightful session, Sandeep sir. Great learning and key take away challenges or to own status quo. Like you have to take control on your status quo. So this is what and Syed Subhani says, knowledge and experience speaks. Very insightful. So Syed is my friend. He's my batchmate in Sipla. And,
okay.
So he has appreciated. And from Yashwant Mishra, one of our founders, he said that excellent insights, Sandeep ji. So one more question, one more query from Purnima. So this is about how about self-awareness in senior leaders when you talk about the freshers and the experienced people. So she's asking about what is the like in senior level leaders, what is the role of a self-awareness?
There's a very important role of self-awareness because senior leaders are the idol. Senior leaders are the idol, so they have to be very highly self-aware. So their one word can impact 1,000 lives. Their one decision can impact 1,000 lives. Their one act can make it and can break it. So self-awareness is highly influential factor in terms of success for the senior leaders. And this is one of the major attributes, once again, when Arpan asked me attributes, this is probably one of the major attributes of successful and senior leaders.
Excellent. So from one of our very regular participant, Nasiruddin Chisti, he had some suggestion to you to the Ocums. So he says that Sandeep sir, Ocum products batches are very high. The batch size is very high, maybe 50,000, 1 lakh like that. And you should reduce the batch size for the new startups. He has
I appreciate this and I also understand that. But then what happened, more bigger the plant and the capacity is, more bigger the, your batch size. But then I will personally request you. You can inbox me, and then I will try to connect you to the right people in the homes, and I will tell him to support you if required with a split batch quantity. I'll try. I am not committing you, but I'll try. I'll try. I'll request Mr. Praveen Soni, who heads that, and I'll definitely try. Not only to Nasiruddin, anybody who needs this support, I can connect.
Like, the new ventures, the small companies who have come into the industry, definitely they need a smaller batches.
Yeah, I understand that. Sure.
To stand in the market. So we have Veerraju, one of my colleagues from Cipla. He is watching the show and appreciated. And Dr. Satish Polisetivar, he said that it's a great session. So this is for both the speakers. So one question to Kalairaj. So this is again from Nasiruddin. Usually we use the same visual aid for multiple times, even for more than a year or 6 years. So are we getting doctor's attention as per eye scale when you are using the same visual aid for a longer time?
See, basically, many times, I still remember in my college, in my Ranbaxy days, or even in my Panesia days, Professor Mitra and team, they used to come. When you take a visual aid, you please make it in a steel iron. Don't change it, okay? Because your things go on that. So that is why they say, okay. This is basically bipolar with two things. One is the message should be the same. There will be consistency in the message. That is the meaning. Okay, but your visuals and the kind of way you picturize your book, that has to be changed. Like for example, even you see that whenever we communicate the product, the brand logo, those things will remain as it is. But when we want to see what is the stories or themes we are going to say, that we need to really make something new, and every time you have to say. Many times doctors say that what is new. Okay, they when going to meet a doctor, they always say what is new thing to say. Okay, they always ask me. So then I don't know anything. Like suppose I'm going to present a paracetamol, what I need thing to say. But it changed the world in COVID time. You see that COVID time, people all paracetamol, like every players, big company, even today that made a biggest brand for microlab. Okay, and that made two things. So many things changed over there. So you have to see how you can actually make that value addition to that. That's what we have to make it a change.
Yeah, I think visual aid is a supportive tool, but what value addition you are bringing in that call is more important.
Exactly, where this eye scale will help you to support on that actually.
Yeah, so that will give you like which phase he's concentrating more, which doctor is liking which kind of study or these kind of things. I think that will give you some more insight, so that when you go next time you'll be using the same the same slide and give a different kind of deliberation or a story. So that
it is something like suppose you take ice cream, either you take butterscotch, vanilla, chocolate, anything. Okay, the cherry at the top is basically going to give a kind of pleasing to that. That is to be the value addition you have to make it actually.
Excellent example. Yeah, I think this question is answered. Now the question is to Sandeep Da. This is from my side. You actually talked about the three generations, basically, our father's generation, our generation, and our children's generation. So our parents were more into survival mode or industrial revolution era, and we have moved to the quality of life where we more liked on the
standard of living. Standard of living.
Now the current generation is Gen Z is morely, if you see the qualities, like they are working from home, and they don't care much about the formalities and all those things. So they're very casual. You might have observed within our families also, they're not so much serious about the time and kind of any assignments. They are very casual. ठीक है, वो हो जाएगा, ये तो ठीक है, मतलब मैं कर दूंगा, आज नहीं तो मैं कल कर दूंगा. So this kind of, so now for the future generation, how do you identify the talent? So because now we have to work with those guys who are who are our the youngsters, and what kind of skills you're expecting from them? Maybe you can just thought on that.
See, if you talk about the literal talent, the overall talent is much more than that of our generations. And there is nothing wrong in it, because it is going to happen because of the technology, because of the the way they are being exposed from the childhood. So we have never seen a mobile phone till then. We were 35 or 38 when it came to India first. But then they born with a mobile phone, kind of. They born with the technology. You won't believe, I have a relative, and his daughter is 7 years old, and we are very close to them. And then what she did, suddenly I got a small animated video for 45 seconds or 50 seconds from my relative, and it was made. 15th May was my birthday. Actually, that day I received that, and it was made with my different photographs collected from Facebook, and there was some background music. So I called him. I told who made it. So he told my daughter made it. I told 7 years old, she made it. Well, yes, and believe me, I don't know how to make it today. Really, I admit I don't know how to make it. So now, what do you say? Is it not a talent? It's a talent. So overall, in this generation, talents are there. But then probably when we go for the right kind of fitment, certain basics has not changed in any generation. That is, again, will come to the honesty, discipline, punctuality, hardworking, humbleness, assertive, and desire for learning and desire for growth. So I believe these are the few points has not changed, never in any generation. Even today, if I would have been asked to pick up from 10 of the talents, I will see that these 6-7 points where I will get more fitment.
Yeah, excellent. I think this even answers the question, one of the questions from Purnima madam. So she asked about the skills. So usually you can actually train the skills. You can train them on skills, maybe on communication, maybe on presentation skills, maybe on how to talk to your customer. But you cannot teach anybody on the attitude, on their the seriousness of the job, timing. So these has to be built. They are inbuilt. Or maybe
that is why I always say that skill and knowledge can be imparted. But your characteristics, behavioral characteristics, those things has to be seen during the selection.
Yes.
Because those are very difficult. I'm not telling it cannot be changed.
Yeah.
As I told, nothing is impossible. It can be changed, but very rarely people would like to change those things. It's very difficult.
Exactly. Because that has been developed because of some kind of environment. So when the environment changes, definitely it's going to be that will impact.
There is another theory in it. Arpan might be aligned in this. There is called this determinism theory. So this is called genetic determinism, which we get from our genes, from our forefathers, from our parents and all. There is some social determinism, which we get when we have been grown up from our friends, from our society, from our school, colleges, and everywhere. And then there is some, personal determinism. So that is what you want to be and how you want to be, how you want to make yourself. So in this determinism theory, if you go, so we need to see that what is the influence, how much percentage influence of what determinism is there. And that is why I was talking about family background, which will give you some kind of genetic determinism percentage. And then how he has grown up. I always ask during the interview the people that first you start with your family, parents, a little more details, and then go for your upbringing. How you have been you have been groomed up. So that is very, very important. Then of the professional journey, because professional journey, though, you can see in the CV also. Whatever written in the CV, he will tell the same thing. Apart from a specific incident, you can ask. But more importantly, which is not there in the CV, only parents' name is written, but nothing more is written. So you need to know that. So that helps to understand that how is his behavioral aspects, how is his mindset is being framed, kind of.
Thank you, Sandeep. Very, very useful and insightful answer. Now, this question is to
lot of appreciation.
Kaleraj. Okay, go ahead, Sanat. Then I will ask the.
No, you are asking something. Yeah, please ask that question. Then I'll.
From Kuldeep Solanki to Mr. Kaleraj. Sir, how iScale works, and if client has to subscribe for this platform on SOS based, so how they can connect with you? Like, what is the modus operandi?
So it is simple. You can actually contact me. I think you can connect me. My LinkedIn profile also, you can connect me there, and I will contact you there. We will have that module, everything ready, so we can immediately implement it, and it is going to take very short, because we have designed the model in such a way that it should give very less time to execute and implement, so that you will be able to get it, because we know that what is the urgency of visual aid designing and where we need a input immediately. So that we have, and we have a good team, and we have a pan India team who are able to really recruit the doctors of all kind, and really we'll able to get it executed. You can connect me there. I don't know, you can contact me, my number, I don't know, you can take my number as well.
Group, so you can get your number or connect with me.
Yeah, you can text. I can text my number, or you can take me 7845 400 800. So you can contact me this number, or you can message me. This is my WhatsApp number as well. I can share you the details. We can connect it. Thank you for the lead.
Over to you, Sanat.
Yeah, thank you so much. There are a lot of appreciation for both the speakers and for the topic. One is talking about the technology and how to get more outcome, and one speaker had talked about his journey of 30 years, how things have changed, and as a leader, what are the things he has to acquire or he has to. So quite interesting two topics. Almost everybody had around 27, 28 people had appreciated on the channel about that, both the speakers. There are a few queries which would like to understand. That is about to Mr. Kaleraj. It is from Mr. Siddharthan, and he is talking about that the iScale will be done at standalone or as a supplement with a qualitative or a quantitative research. He want to understand about that aspect. If you can take us.
Yeah, this is basically always been added with the supplement of qualitative feedback. That way we have done Zomato. What we have done is we have done eye tracking. After that respondent has been interviewed for 20 minutes, 10 minutes we have talked about the various general feedback. Then 10 minutes we have spoken on the product, very specifically the study product in details. So there we will actually ask him the response, verbal responses, because what's important is eye tracking gives you only eye. Okay, there is no verbal thinking and transition of the thought process. So now this has been clubbed with the thought process, verbal communication as well. So that we will be taking care of that. So that actually will make the analysis, and that will actually complete it. As you rightly said, basically it's complement each other on that actually. Good question. Thank you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, thank you. There is one thing as about Mr. Radit Saha has appreciated the presentation and the communication from both the speakers. And one of the audience had requested that to get that moral story from Arpan. So it's all about what had been highlighted in YouTube, and more of the questions which have been repeated in the LinkedIn from where Mr. ICS had taken care. It's over to you, Mr. Arpan.
Yeah, I just want to add one. Arpan, I just want to add one point.
Yeah.
This is actually just want to make one value addition or the kind of point along with Mr. Sandeep. I think really the session was really very interesting. In fact, I was just wondering like how he is going to make a presentation without without a slide PPT show. I'm not comfortable on that, but actually he made excellent well. But it is reminding me on risk taking. So I just want to share one point. I have traveled in various journey in my career. Like, I started my career with as a researcher actually with the scope marketing. Then I moved into the interlink. Then I moved into the doctorates, Panacea Biotech, then, core healthcare, Ranbaxy and all. Then I even last stint when I was there as a fulcrum, where as an investment equity, where we learned a lot of things on how to brand building, how to do funding and all. So this is what we have done on that. In that time, I got an offer very interestingly as a dean for a care business school. I was really surprised. What is it? This totally different. Even though I am very highly passionate in teaching, because I used to go to Nursing Institute and SIS even now also taking classes. So I really just surprised at how to go for that. Then I thought I said, let me take a risk, whatever it is, let me take. But see, as you rightly said, it is my passion. Like, okay, what will happen? So it taken a passion. I just went, I was about a year and really was, and learned a lot of things actually. And it given a different learning actually, altogether a lot of different learning, the kind of academic flair and how this, and very interestingly, we had made a printed of Stanford University protocol of how to an education institute should be. So we made an SOP for care business school in that time and made it. But then after that, I thought, okay, we made it a blueprint. So now that is for them to take care of that. So that's what I moved back to the industry. Okay, so but I think that's what a risk taking. I really like it. I think this is what I thought of relating to that and making it. Over to you, Arpan. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kalairat sir, for this value addition to risk taking. Yes, definitely. Every person has to take a risk sometime or later in his career journey, because I still remember the line which Edmund Hillary said when he actually could not scale the Mount Everest, because it was on the third attempt that Edmund Hillary actually scaled Mount Everest. So the first time when he failed, he just wrote a beautiful line. He said that Mount Everest, you cannot grow, but as a person, I can definitely grow. So I will come next time and I'll conquer you. So it is how we conquer our fears. It is how we take the risk. Are they calculated or they are not calculated? So the risk, if they are calculated, can give us very high dividends. So thank you so much, everybody, for putting in such a wonderful session today, enlightening, engrossing, and a very engaging session for all our audience, our participants. So before we leave, I would always like to go back to each of our speakers and panelists for their learnings. So first of all, Sandeep De sir, what has been your learning from LPC 111?
Well, great learning with Mr. Kalairaj's presentations, because this is completely new subject. I humbly agree that I did not have any idea about this iScale, and then this kind of services or product is available. So this is really a fruitful and meaningful day. Already I have made this day, though I have a lot of hours left over, but this day has paid me already. And obviously, when you talk to the panelists like ICS, Sanath, you are there. There are a lot of interactions comes, a lot of your questions, the kind of questions you have asked me, that itself has given me a lot of churning insight, which reminded me a lot of learnings which I made some time back, but not practiced probably, or could not practice because of the lack of scope. Now those things become live. So it has to be a little cautious to get more energetic me in coming 7 days to execute certain old learnings in a new form. So really fantastic day. Enjoyed.
Thank you, sir. Really, your energy has been very contagious, and I'm sure the rub of the energy has gone to everybody who has been a part of this wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir. Kalairat, sir, what has been your learnings from LPC 111? Sir, kindly unmute.
It's a great
Yes.
opportunity for me to really present this meeting. In fact, we had 2 weeks back, we had a session moderated by Mr. Prashant and honored with this, guest speakers by Mr. Vivek, Amitabha, Mr. Verma, and Mr. A.K. Shagu, and Mr. P.K. Rajput. Okay, so these all eminent speakers came, and they given a lot of inputs. Literally speaking, today whatever you seen the inputs of 6 people, so that inputs actually I have been able to capsulate and able to present it. Probably Mr. Verma was there, he is witness in both sessions, and he knows very clearly how that session was there and how today the session is there. I really thank for that LPC given opportunity to me, really capsulated, and also able to get me some lead also today. I'm sure that we will, get associated with the industry people. I'm sure that I really want to see some kind of sea change in the way we do our marketing and communication, and to want to stay connected with our customers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, your topic has been something which doesn't come across very frequently. So I'm very sure the audience have found your deliberations very engaging, and they have taken a lot of learnings from your session. Thank you so much, sir. Now I'll come to Sanat, sir, for his learnings from this LPC 111.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure for last 2 hours listening to the eminent speakers. And always I talk about that the hunger for learning in today's era is one of the most important thing in if you want to prosper, if you want to move up the ladder, then there are a lot of new things which are happening across that need to be acquired. And I got a chance to listen to Mr. Kaleraj in a couple of events in the last iScale program I was part of it. At that time, I was not able to understand or gel properly. And today, after listening second time, I'm able to understand that it is always data backup is most important, and to utilize the time in a proper way. The scientific backup is more important based as compared to that of the assumption. So utilization of iScale is going to help us, and with the lot of this technology advancement which is happening on day-to-day basis, that will help in ease of promotion for a marketing person, and that need to be very productively used. So that was the first learning from Mr. Kaleraj's session. The second, which I noted very crispy from Sandeep sir's presentation, it is about you may be at any point of your journey, the humbleness is utmost required. And with every, hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. The second thing from his session is about at every step, you need to challenge yourself to move up. So for that, if you want to challenge yourself, that means you have to come out of your comfort zone and to understand the market dynamics. Based on that, you have to acquire yourself to move up the ladder. These are the two things which I had understood or learned my take home from his session. It was quite interesting. It's pleasant hearing both these speakers. Thank you so much.
Very well said. Very well said, Sanat sir. Thank you so much. In fact, we need to live a life as if we are supposed to die tomorrow, but we need to learn as if we are going to live forever. So learning is something which keeps us alive every day. Thank you so much, Sanat sir. Now I'll come to ICS sir for your learnings on LPC 111.
It is really wonderful and a lot of learnings today because both are different topics, but they are very complement because you need both human skills and technology skills. to excel in anywhere where you are today. So with Kalairaj's session, we have learned lot of new things, especially in the pharma industry is going to get a very beautiful tool now to understand the customer well and to create a better impression through the whatever the tools that we have. And definitely, the iScale is going to be a very, very good, it's going to play a very vital role now in the pharma industry. And I wish him all the best in this new venture. And from session, like every time we had something to take away. So that there are many takeaways from his session on his while talking about his own journey. I could relate even my journey, how many risks I have taken, and I never regret even if that is failure or a success, because every time when you take a risk, you learn, and that learning is going to help you in your future career. So that's what the learning from Sandeep the session. And also we had a wonderful discussion with Sanat, bringing his experience in marketing, because I know him, he has been into marketing for many years, and he has been catalyst of building many brands. So his experience and his sharing has added a lot of value. And not to forget your contribution from both sales, marketing, and training. So you're always bringing lot of experiences. So whenever we come to Life Pharma Coalition, it's a kind of a serious lesson, session, and kind of a lot of learning. I still remember my IIM days when we had the NDP session on leadership development. So it is, every second is valuable. So thank you LPC, thank you Arpan and all the executive team for bringing a lot of value addition to Life Pharma Coalition every week. Thank you very much, Arpan.
Thank you so much, ICS sir. Yes, it was basically a walk down the memory lanes. In fact, it was the footprints that we were trying to find out on the sand. And the places where the footprints were not there, it means that we were passing through a tough time, and it was God carrying us on his lap. So the footprints were missing. So we need to have faith in the Almighty, and of course, have the belief in our capabilities. And that is what is going to take us towards our success. So in fact, today I started the meeting with telling what the roles and responsibilities some managers do. So today's story is also based on that. It's again one from that Akbar Birbal series. So Akbar once asked Birbal to look for the 4 biggest idiots in his kingdom and bring them in court in the next 1 month. So after a month's extensive search, Birbal could only manage 2 people. So then Akbar said that I asked you for 4, but why have you brought only 2 in front of me? So Birbal said, have a little patience, sir. The next 2 are going to arrive very soon. So pointing to the first person, Birbal said that Maharaj, this man was traveling in a bullock cart, and he was keeping his luggage on his head so that he is not going to put any extra load on the bullock. So he's the first idiot. And in the corporate parlance, the managers who take all the load on themselves and do not delegate them is a classic example of this. Pointing to the second man, Birbal said that some grass had grown on the roof of his thatched house, and he was trying to force his cow climb on the terrace to eat that grass. In the corporate parlance, these are those managers who take irrational targets and then force the team to complete them, knowing fully well that it cannot be done. Well, Birbal continued, Maharaj, there were a lot of important jobs for me to do in your state, but I ignored all of them in searching for the idiots that you had asked me. So according to me, I am the third idiot. And in corporate parlance, managers who rush obediently for wrong job assignments without any questioning. Then suddenly Akbar said, and where's the fourth? Birbal said, beg your pardon, Maharaj. You are the king and you are responsible for the well-being of the entire kingdom and its people. You need wise people to help you oversee all the affairs of your kingdom. But instead of looking for wise men, you hired me to look for idiots. So according to me, you are the fourth idiot. So in corporate parlance, bad managers who are always themselves in the dark and also keep their team in the dark. So this is some of the type of managers that we have in the industry. In fact, the first rule of management that I always feel is delegation. So for any manager, please don't try to do everything yourself because you simply cannot. The second rule is manage others the way you would like to be managed. And of course, the third, never try to micromanage. So friends, there are different leadership theories and there are no theory which says that this is the best. It is always the situational leadership theory which will determine the success of a manager, a success of a leader in that situation. Today is 5th of June, the World Environment Day. So the motto for this year is only one earth. If it dies, we die with it. So friends, let's take care of this beautiful earth that we have been gifted. Let's put a curb on the pollution that we are doing. Let us plant more trees. And of course, let us maintain COVID appropriate behavior of SMS and vaccination. Thank you once again to Imagica Health for being our supporting partner in our endeavor of learning and development. Week after week, we really salute your resilience for being with us in our learning endeavor. So thank you so much, our viewers, for being with us. This is Arpan Kumar Paul, once again thanking our speakers, our moderators, and our panelists for the wonderful session on LPC Nelson, that is 111. So we will depart from you with a promise of once again reconnecting with you next Sunday at the same time with a new set of speakers, with a new set of thoughts and a new set of learnings. So thank you so much. This is Arpan Kumar Paul wishing goodbye to all of you. Have a wonderful Sunday and namaste.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. So from here now, I'm ending the meeting. Thank you.